Hotel Wailea is the only Relais Chateau property in Hawaii. It is Japanese inspired with Hawaiian roots and regularly wins top hotel in the islands. So I flew all the way here to see if it's really the best in Maui and to give it a full review. I travel around the world and review the top luxury properties out of 50 points in 5 categories. The categories, like always, are the ambiance, the room, the dining, the service, and the it factor. I'm not associated with Hotel Wailea in any way, just a guest staying here paying full price for the first time. Now, they did let us know the room is already ready. So let's get the welcome amenities at the check-in desk and go take a look at it. Incredible check-in process here in the lobby. You can hear the tropical birds at Birdcage, a restaurant we're going to look at a little bit later. They give you a welcome pineapple dish that has a little bit of red plum dust on top and a full book, including your room card here. Let me open it for you. Let's go take a look at the room because I have a little surprise for you. Okay, we're going to see the rest of the room a little bit later in this review in that segment, but we are in Hawaii, so let's start with the ambiance. Now, this entire resort is adults only, which means no families and no kids like you might find at other luxury hotels on Maui. It was designed to be peaceful and serene. In fact, there are over 15 acres here for only around 100 guests at any given time. So don't get this hotel confused with the Grand Wailea. There is no association there. Unlike them, there is no spa here, there's no beach, so that may impact a couple of the scores throughout this review. But what they do have is an incredible walking grounds and garden here, as well as a full orchard. I want to head there first. They actually grow a lot of the produce that they use in their restaurants here in their orchard. Now, this isn't really a guest accessible area, but right now they're growing mangoes here, and it is quite peaceful and nice. I love that they're farm to table with all of their ingredients, or most of them, as many as they can be, and I really am excited to try it because anytime they're growing their own produce, you know it's going to be fresh and you know it's going to be high quality. This is their pool, which is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. It is slightly heated, chlorinated. It's not very big, but remember, this is not a very big resort compared to other large resorts in Maui. Next to the pool, you can rent these cabanas for $250 a day. It comes with an appetizer and 2 drinks, which is a pretty fair rate for how much space you have. The hotel offers a lot of complimentary activities like yoga here in the morning, so you can come have a guided practice and enjoy the views. Next to the yoga is the gym, and what you'll notice is there's no window here. There's an incredible view. It's one of the only open-air gyms here in the entire series of islands. But something I like even more is their choice of equipment. So they work with Pent and Techno Gym. You have the technologically advanced gym, but also more sustainable wood weights and kettlebells here as well. All of these were hand-selected by their team. I've never seen this before. I actually love it so much I may end up getting a set for my own house back in Los Angeles. Anyway, let's keep moving. They have 3 sommeliers here and over 2,300 wines on their list, the largest in all of the Hawaiian Islands, represented by the largest wine king. So that really is it for the public spaces here at the hotel. All the rest of the grounds are fully immersed in nature like you see behind me. Now, a lot of the design and architecture here is inspired by Japan. The design choices that they integrated include the tops of buildings being inspired by a geisha's parasol, for example. Other than that, it feels like this hotel has always been here and will always be, just seamlessly worked into the hillside in Maui. Now, if you think all of this is beautiful, wait until you see the hotel at night. Let's give Hotel Wailea an ambiance score. So, this was a difficult one to give. On one hand, just look at this property. The waterfalls, the koi pond, the incredible interiors that they've designed, really, really impressive and so serene and peaceful. On the other hand, it is a hotel on Maui without access to a beach. There's also no spa on site, which is a little bit strange when you're trying to stay here for a vacation, especially a romantic one. But let's talk about that romantic point for just a moment. It is one of the most romantic hotels I've ever stayed in, with maybe only a few that have passed it, but it is really difficult to find anything here that doesn't feel like it was crafted and created specifically for couples celebrating their honeymoon or their anniversary. Overall, I was impressed. I gave the ambiance an 8 out of 10. Kicking off the room segment here, there are 72 total rooms here at the Hotel Wailea. They are all spread out amongst villas, so these golf carts will drive you to each individual villa, and each one of those is comprised of 4 different rooms. We're going to take a look at the top category first, and then I'm going to show you the garden view as well. Now, when I'm staying in hotels like this one here in Maui, it can be really difficult to stay up to date with global news or things that are happening back home. That's why I subscribe to Morning Brew. Now, hotels like the Hotel Wailea and many others used to give physical newspapers in the room, but those days are far gone. Morning Brew is a daily newsletter that comes into your inbox with updates on everything going on globally, and it's worded like a close friend. They're witty and fun and lighthearted, and it really has been an amazing way to stay up to date while I'm on the road. Morning Brew is also the sponsor of this video and serves currently over 4 million working professionals around the world. Not to mention, it is free to sign up. So click the link below in the description or scan the QR code and sign up for Morning Brew yourself. I've personally loved it, and I know that you're going to get just as much value from it as I have, especially when you're traveling the world. So now let's get back to the review. Welcome to what they call the Celebration Suite here at the Hotel Wailea. This is the top suite. There is no penthouse, there's nothing higher level than this, there's no 2-bedroom suites. This is truly as high as it goes. The price point per night for this room is $1,600 per night as of this recording, but of course that varies based on season and availability. My immediate first impression is how impressively beautiful and clean this room is. It smells fantastic. It is so elegantly designed. All of the furniture is high quality in the materials that they use, and there are quite a few different perks and benefits to the room as well, which we're going to take a look at. The first is the amenities that they set out when you come into the room. Here we have a fruit tray, a leaf with truffles in it, and some champagne that they put out, as well as a welcome letter. Over here in the kitchen, which is standard in every room by the way, there's an island, a cutting board, an espresso machine, and some snacks. Not every room has an island in the center here, but they all have this area that you see in front of me. Down below, there's a full refrigerator with complimentary drinks, including some of my favorites like Spindrift. And up above, there are snacks like Hawaiian chips and Hawaiian chocolates. All of that is also complimentary. So I asked the front desk about the complimentary items in the room, if they're restocking them, if you can have them restocked at any time, and they said you can restock this fridge and the snacks as many times as you would like during your stay. These are not complimentary for every category of room. In fact, just recently, the base level garden view rooms started to charge for all of the drinks and the snacks, and they're starting to roll that out into other categories as well. If a guest stays here multiple times, they do get complimentary snacks, so there's some nuance to this. But right now, for this room, all of this is included, which is an incredible value. We're going to talk about that in the it factor later. Standard Nespresso machine with pods here. Other than that, not much else in the kitchen. I want to show you the balcony or lanai that comes standard in every room. This is the standard lanai or balcony in the room. There's not a lot out here. The furniture seems to take a pretty marked step down as soon as you come out, and I don't know if I would be spending a lot of my time out here, but it is nice that this is a feature of the room. You have a beautiful, stunning view of the south shore of Maui. That's why they have this area out here, and I could see having breakfast might be nice, but there's so much to love in that room. I don't know how much time I'd be coming out here. There's a very large seating area here, which is perfect for relaxing or hosting or just watching television. Now for the bed. At first glance, it is very welcoming. It's colorful and bright, but we won't know for sure until I sleep in it tonight and give it a review in the morning. On the bed, there's a complimentary bag, which at closer glance is not actually complimentary. You can only use it during your stay, and you have to return it unless you get charged. So I went to go pull out the phone here in the room and look at this. A little bit of nature from Hawaii came to join us. Poor guy lost his tail. How cute. Tiny little baby. Come on, little guy. Oh, he's climbing the side. Here he is. Wow.
Go, little guy.
What do y'all think we should name him? Put your names in the comments below for our new gecko friend. On this side of the bed, you have a touch charging station that you can set your phone on and it will automatically charge it. Looks fantastic. And a nice coral accent, which complements the coral accented stone walls that they have throughout this entire room. This is a really, really nice touch and very high quality here. Not as much the case as this kind of tarp wallpapering, but if you look at it together, it does have a nice overall aesthetic feel to it. Speaking of aesthetics, this has a modern beach house feel. This could easily be in Malibu in California or in Miami in Florida. It really feels light, airy, and very much so like Hawaii. I want to get into the bathroom and give that shower a test. The bathroom in this hotel room is really extraordinary. The only thing that could be improved is the lighting. It's a little bit dim in here, and I don't know about this lighting fixture up there, but the tub itself and the shower look fantastic. The shower test, like always, is 3 criteria points. That is the size, the ease of use, and the pressure. The size is pretty apparent. It's quite large, and there won't be a lot of drainage or leakage onto the floor here because of the space that you're given. Now, the bathtub next to me is technically in the shower, but unlike the Ritz Mandarin Oriental, it's not so much in the shower that you can't move around. Ease of use is a little complicated, more than I would like. The dials do have shower and hot cold written on them, but a little bit harder to find and pretty unclear which one actually controls which. I figured out that if you move this to the left, that's what turns on the shower, and once it's on, you can then turn on the handheld. So not the most simple. Down here controls only the temperature. Pressure-wise, it is a consistent stream that's coming out here. However, it's a pretty small surface area that you have. So part of your body is most likely going to be out of the water at any given time. They do say they are the most romantic hotel here in Hawaii, but if you try to take a shower with 2 people, that's not going to happen. But showering for 2 is not a criteria in the shower test, so this one definitely passes. The only other thing in this room is this large single vanity sink with molten brown amenities, my favorite at any hotel, and what's in this room behind me. That is a modern Japanese toilet with integrated bidet. Part of their Japanese inspiration at this hotel, of course, but a very nice welcome touch in any room. Speaking of any room, I want to go take a look at the garden view base level room here at the hotel, get the robe on, and test that bed tonight. This is the garden view or the base level suite here at the Wailea Hotel. Now, you might be thinking, this is very similar to the Celebration Suite, and you would be correct about that. Here are some of the differences. All of the colors and decor palette in here are darker and represent the earth because it is a garden view, whereas the color palette in the Celebration Suite represents the ocean. You also have a welcome amenity when you come into the Celebration Suite. It's meant to be a celebration, so there's champagne and chocolate truffles, and that is not included in this room. Beyond that, the bath amenities here are Wailea branded, whereas they are molten brown in the suite that you saw earlier. Outside of that, however, there's not a huge difference. Of course, the view does change the higher the category goes, but this price point for this room is $850 per night at the time of recording this, and now you know the celebration price. So, depends if you want a view of the ocean, or if you are looking for that different color palette or a welcome amenity, and you can make your call. All right, I've got my Hotel Wailea robe on. I'm about to sleep in this bed and test it and give it a final room score in the morning. But before I do that, I want to call the front desk and order room service breakfast for a certain time. We're going to test later in the service segment if it showed up on time, if it was hot and fresh, but I always order the same thing. Let's call the front desk. Hi there, could I order room service breakfast for tomorrow, please? Could I do 7:30, please?
Yeah, so what can we get for you?
Could I do an Eggs Benedict and a black coffee, please?
Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and order that for you.
Okay, wonderful. 7:30 a.m. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Aloha.
Good night. Time to get some sleep. This bed at Hotel Wailea is one of the better ones on this channel. It's firm but has a soft, almost pillow top to it. The duvet or comforter is a little thin for my liking, but it's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit every day outside here right now in Maui, so that makes a lot of sense that it would be like that, and it was a very comfortable sleep. Let's consider this in the final room score coming next. Before I give this room an official score, we never actually tried the welcome amenities earlier. So they have a plate of fresh fruit here, which is all your standard assortment: watermelon, mango, pineapple, and some star fruit, which if you haven't had this before, I highly recommend it. Literally is a fruit that is in the shape of a star. Over here, very Beauty and the Beast-esque, they've used a leaf. Looks like a banana leaf. Boom. Chocolate, fresh truffles in there with macadamia nut and almond. Very nice touch. So this really represents the quality of the room overall. There's a lot of thought, a lot of care, and a lot of love that was put into this room when designing it and thinking of the decor. I wish that they would have used the same architectural cues that they did in the rest of the hotel, with the ceiling and the walls. It feels a little bit like you might be in an apartment, and I think that's because it lost a bit of that incredible soul of this hotel in this room. Now, the fact that there is no penthouse suite or multi-bedroom suite could be an inconvenience for larger groups, but remember, this is adults only. There's no families here. It's really meant to be a romantic Hawaiian getaway. And the final minor negative is the balcony is another opportunity for improvement. Maybe some artwork again, or some nicer furnishings out there just to make it an even better part of this room. It's a real opportunity to have that view, so worth the investment to up-level that as well. The positives in here far outnumber those. The bed passed the test, the shower passed the test, and overall, it is a very comfortable stay. When you're in Hawaii, you may not want to spend a lot of your time in the rooms. However, it should still feel like it complements the rest of your stay. Considering all of these factors, I gave the room a 7.5 out of 10. Now, there are 2 restaurants here on site, and one of them is the only Relais Chateau restaurant in the Hawaiian Islands. Another one of them won the most romantic best restaurant for couples in Hawaii. Let's get out there and see if those things are true. Good morning from the restaurant at Hotel Wailea. So it is literally called The Restaurant. They have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. We're going to come back later tonight for the multi-course dinner menu, but right now we're taking a look at their legendary breakfast. So we have been told that it is a small menu, but everything is done exceptionally well. I asked what the most popular items were, like I always do, and our server let me know that the pancakes are life-changing. So ordered those, as well as the avocado toast, which is also the most popular on the menu. Cheers. So beautiful, very vibrant. The dragon fruit out here in Maui is this deep, rich purple color. And they have some ricotta. I swore I took a bite and I felt like it just brought me to the ocean. Citrusy passion fruit. The ricotta cheese cuts that really beautifully. One thing I really love about pancakes, and I grew up this way, I had Swedish pancakes quite a lot. The really crispy outer crust of the pancake, when you really cook it well, the crispy edges here are really nice and add a really beautiful crunch. Definitely life-changing. Pancakes I'll be thinking about for a long time. Moving on to the sourdough avocado toast. Full bite here. It's very difficult to follow up those pancakes. I think I could have eaten anything after the pancakes and it would not have been as flavorful or as impactful. It feels almost like the flavors are muted in this one a little bit. It does feel very healthy, very fresh, vibrant. Something you could get and feel really good and have a lot of energy through the day. But those pancakes, when you are on vacation, that's definitely what you should go for. This is Birdcage. It is a Japanese Bintrattan-style grill that is regularly noted as one of the most romantic restaurants in all of Hawaii. This is where lovebirds will come to share a drink under literal lovebirds above. Yes, at sunset, parrots will come back to their nests here and actually sit above guests at the birdcage, which is why it's called Birdcage. Because of that, they've designed a lot of the decor in here to be whimsical. You have bird feet on the bottom of the tables. You've got bird nest looking cages around some of the chairs here. It really is a very fun, lighthearted, light bites, and romantic location. Now, a couple of guests online have mentioned that the birds flying above do every once in a while have an accident on the table, but I think well worth it to dine with the parrots here in Hawaii. The first dish here came out. This is their very well-known A5 Wagyu hand roll with caviar on top of it as a little Hotel Wailea display. Ooh, what a way to start here at the birdcage. The first bite is a little bit salty, not overpowering by any means, just a beautiful symphony of flavors in that bite. So this one is a little bit on the pricier side. These are $25 each because of the caviar and the steak, of course, but they really do make you want to order a bunch of them. Now we have the prawn skewers with the head still on the tray here and a little bit of dipping sauce. Smells so good. Incredibly impressive. So you decide. More restaurants, but not as good, or less restaurants, but all extraordinary. We're gonna have to think about that in the final score. Before we go back to the restaurant for that dinner service, I want to show you inside their kitchen. So this kitchen is actually an open one. So you can see in here at all times of the day and night. Pristinely clean, so professional. I can't wait to try it. Back now in the restaurant for the main event, their farm-to-table multi-course tasting menu. So the restaurant for dinner only serves this menu that you're about to see, and they pull a lot of their ingredients from local farmers or right from the orchard here itself. The views are of the south coast of Maui, or in this case, the stars, and it really does feel like it's elegance, but it's not stuffy. The amuse-bouche tonight, which is meant to clear your palate before the multi-course tasting menu, is salmon with caviar and fresh dill in a little tart cup here. The texture is crunchy with a nice soft interior. The salmon is beautifully complemented by the dill, and the caviar gives it that little salty kick at the end. A great start, very strong start. The first course has arrived. This is burrata with prosciutto from Italy, and this is a golden beet salad with tomatoes. I love the plating here. It is very interesting. All of the beets are over on one side. They did let me know when the course has started that you will not leave hungry, so I'm still feeling optimistic about that. The ricotta is very fresh. It has a lemon zest to it. The beet is very firm. It's a very firm beet. I'm used to a little bit more roasted beets, a bit softer. It's a firm beet, good flavor on that. Maybe not my favorite salad. Let's give the burrata a try here. So there's a pistachio garnish here on this. That one is excellent. So the appetizers here, maybe not the strongest course, but definitely not a miss. So this was one of the courses I was most looking forward to here. This is also another starter. So I ordered this just to show you some of the different starters you can get. This is a risotto with Australian truffle shaved on top, a scallop that's been brown butter seared. You have some asparagus in here and a lobster emulsion. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Here we go. Let's try it. I'm so glad I ordered this one as well. Just an explosion of flavor when you bite it. The scallop you might think would be overpowering with the lobster emulsion as well, but no, they complement each other beautifully. Just an excellent risotto. It's very firm rice that they've used in there. There is a brioche bun intermission now, which is definitely a welcome pause with some lavender, rosemary, butter. Oh my. It's a brioche, but it tastes like a Hawaiian sweet roll. The main courses have arrived. We have poached lobster and a ribeye, which the ribeye is a mixture between A5 Wagyu and a black Angus steak. Look at this here. The initial flavor of the lobster just wasn't very pleasant. It almost tasted like it was slightly off just a little bit, but ended with a wonderful aftertaste here. Overall a great dish, but not the standout I was looking for. All right, now for the ribeye here. So tender, look at this. There's a saltiness, almost like a crust on the outside of that. It's cooked perfectly. It's a ribeye, so it's a bit more firm than what you'd have with a filet mignon, for example. But that's intentional. You get a bigger cut that way. My favorite of the savory dishes has got to be the risotto with the scallops. This is their flan here in the dessert course. So there is a leaf twill on top, which I love when there's some little garnish like this that really just allows you to eat with your eyes first before you taste it. There's a cardamom whip as well as an orange whip here, so we got a bite with everything together. That is very heavy, very rich. There's a lot of cinnamon in the flan. So impressive. Those were the only 2 restaurants here, but it is time to give it a dining score. I really enjoyed my culinary journey here at the Hotel Wailea, starting with the restaurant, that multi-course dinner, the breakfast, just amazing. Almost all of those dishes were incredibly memorable. Now here in the birdcage, this is one of the most unique dining experiences that I've had. You can sit here and be enthralled with the birds and the noises and the atmosphere and the breeze that's flowing in. It's just a really amazing time. And all of the dishes here were excellent as well. However, there are only 2 restaurants on site. So for some of you, that won't matter. You can go into town, you can try other venues, but for those of you who like to stay at the resort for the entire vacation, and maybe you're staying for a week or longer, it may start to get repetitive. You can only have a multi-course dinner from a restaurant so many times before it starts to feel like you want to switch it up a little bit. That probably will be the case here after some time. We've seen other hotels that maybe have 4, 5, 6, 7 restaurants, so we have to grade at that criteria point. However, the dishes that I did have were excellent. Some of them were truly memorable. I gave the dining an 8 out of 10. Now I'm excited to talk about and test the service here, which can really make or break a stay like this. All right, it is 7:30 a.m. on the dot. They brought the Eggs Benedict and the black coffee that I ordered last night, perfectly on time here. So you can see it's a pretty minimalistic setup. There's an orchid, everything is branded Hotel Wailea, including the tray. And then we have this mysterious metal container here that is beautiful, very vibrant, colorful. Now it isn't the dining segment, but I'm gonna give these eggs a try and cut them to see their runniness. That's fantastic. That one is perfect. You can tell it was just made, just poached. Let's see how hot the coffee is. Very good. Great coffee, hot but not too hot. How does it get much better than this? You're sitting on your balcony, you have a view of the coast of Maui, a hot coffee. Wow. But we won't know the true service score until we give it a service test. So the service test is the part of the review where I call the front desk and ask for something that they're not used to accommodating. It's less about if they actually do it and more about how they respond to the request. I've asked for a lot of strange things in the past on this channel, like a camera made out of chocolate, for example. Here in Maui, in Hawaii, it is customary to give a lei upon check-in as a sign of hospitality and welcoming. This is a kukui lei, which represents wisdom, and it's usually for the men. I'm curious if the front desk can arrange a custom lei made out of a different material that's also local here to Hawaii. The lei that I'm curious if they can create is out of maili, and that represents respect and honor and peace. Let's give them a call. Hi there, this is Ron. I have kind of an odd request for you. So I love the lei that you gave us upon checking in, but I was curious if it would be possible to make a custom lei out of maili.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We can touch base with our florist to see when she could have that delivered by. We usually require a 24-hour notice, but we can definitely reach out to her.
Great, and yeah, tomorrow is perfect if that works as well. Yeah.
All right, perfect. We will get back to you.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So they're going to check to see if they can make it. They do have a florist on site, so it's looking promising. Let's go walk around, talk about the service generally at this hotel, come back and see what they're able to make. Speaking to the service generally around the hotel, it has been really top-notch. There's not a ton of staff as you're walking around, but every need that you have is always accommodated. There's a text-based communication system. The amenities at check-in were wonderful, including the welcome pineapple. And overall, I haven't felt like I've really needed too much in this stay that hasn't been easily handled. So the service test results. Look at this Maui Lei'd. This is real. So all of the flowers that you see here are real plants. Smells amazing. So this lei is traditionally used for celebration, which makes sense. We're in the celebration suite. And they also gifted this Hotel Wailea book here. So I'm always honest and transparent in these reviews. They did try to give me this in a bag at the front desk, which is totally fine. And I mentioned it'd probably be better if they set it up actually in the room. So it was very kind of them to come in and put the lei in the room. I absolutely love it. They definitely passed the service test. Let's go and give it a final service score. Here next to their famous golden shaka, let's give it that score. So the service overall was really wonderful. In person, the interactions were fantastic. The staff were always present but didn't feel overbearing. And the overall vibe of the resort was very positive. The text-based communication system is definitely an opportunity for improvement. There were some things that were a bit clunky and confusing. We had already eaten dinner. They asked us if we wanted to eat dinner after the reservation when we had booked it through the text system. We didn't get responses for up to 15 to 20 hours at certain times, so just an opportunity for some improvement on the communication side. I also had a couple of staff that told me that they are doing budget cuts in a few places in the hotel, like removing flowers in the cabanas, as well as removing the complimentary snacks in the rooms slowly and surely through every one of the villas. Kind of just an odd thing for a guest to hear from the staff, but overall these are very minor compared to the overall service experience. They passed the breakfast service test fantastically. They passed the service test as well. Every interaction was wonderful, and you'll definitely have a good experience when you come and stay here. I gave the Hotel Wailea an 8 out of 10 for service. Diving into the it factor segment, the it factor is that special thing about a hotel that makes you want to tell your friends and family about it or keep coming back year after year. The it factor also includes the value of your stay. Now you are in Maui in Hawaii, so it's going to be expensive, but Hotel Wailea does give quite a lot of complimentary things during your stay here. From an outrigger canoe to morning yoga to snacks in the room and a shuttle to the beach, there's a lot that is included with your stay. So I do think it is definitely worth it for the money. The final consideration in the it factor is the location. So if you want to get anywhere in Maui, they have these incredible house cars that can take you anywhere you want to go, and they are included in your stay. They have Range Rover Defenders, Mercedes EQS that I'm in right now. Location-wise, it's not on the beach like the Four Seasons Maui or other top resorts in this area, but it is built in the side of the hill, so you have incredible views of the South Maui coastline. Getting around can be a little bit difficult, and you do have to take the golf cart to get really anywhere. It can be a little hot when you're walking around, and it's not ADA friendly, but it's worth it to be so immersed in nature. Now for the history of the hotel. So Hotel Wailea hasn't actually been here that long. We've seen other luxury hotels in Hawaii, like the Halekulani that I reviewed, that have 100 years plus of history, and this hotel just doesn't share that same longevity, but there is a little bit of a story behind this one. So it originally was a Japanese private members club that they converted into a hotel. Relais Chateau bought it a few years back and made it the luxury hotel that it is today. Now, I'm sure there will be many stories to come and a lot of history that has not been written yet, but as of this stay, it's a pretty new hotel. The final consideration in the it factor is the sense of place. Hotel Wailea is quintessentially Hawaiian. You could not pick up this hotel and put it on any island in the world. It definitely has a sense of being in Maui, Hawaii when you stay here, but I'm not sure if it's a hotel that I will think about for many months to come or tell a lot of people in my life about it. I'll definitely come back when I fly to Maui, but maybe not one of those that really sticks with you. I gave the it factor a 7 out of 10. That was Hotel Wailea here in Maui, Hawaii. I definitely recommend this stay next time you're here on the island. It was an incredible, immersive Hawaiian experience. It's time to give it that final score out of 50. So if you add together all of the scores throughout this review, I gave Hotel Wailea here in Maui, Hawaii, a 38.5 out of 50. Unfortunately, it is time to check out now. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Ryan Walker, and we'll see you on the next one.
Maya, Maya, Maya.